Hi there, this is John Drew from Elevated Planet.
And Jolé Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet. And we'd like to thank you so much for joining us today and welcome you to the show as we have a lot in store for you. It's going to be pretty tight, and John is going to tell us more about it.
Thank you, Jolé. Yeah, this we are just trying to cram in an awful lot here because this is a big subject, shining light on the darkness. Because the important thing really is to understand the nature of what the darkness represents. Because I think that helps us in turn to step into our power and understand our true power. So we've got Elizabeth April, and then we're going to have a section, a transcript from 2003, which is based on an AI voice. So apologies for that, but it's really not that bad. And this is just an 8 minute section, which is quite long in itself, but everything that is said in that 8 minute transcript section, it really helps to paint the picture of what this darkness is that we're shining the light on. And what Elizabeth Aprils is saying either side of this really reinforces this as well. So this will be quite a long show today in that regard, because this is just way too much good information to just ignore it. Because, like when I was going through this, and I was talking to Jolé about it, saying, okay, well, where can we miss these bits out? Where can we cut this? We can't. We've got to put this in because it's just, whichever section you look at, it has really valuable information. So we are not going to waste any time. We are just going to dive straight in to this first section. This is going to be Elizabeth April. Then it's followed by this transcript section. And just to give you a little bit of background on that, it's packed with relevant details about how the deep state operates. Now, there's a man who's named as Cesar Brad, who represents the light. He's the good guy in this. And bear in mind, this is true. This is not fiction. This is truth, okay? Oh yeah, and also there is a longer version of this, an hour, 1 hour, 18 minute version of this is going to be made available on our channel as well, because I think it might stir up a bit of intrigue. And therefore, rather than just having this short 8 minute section, I'd like to open up the entire 1 hour, 18 minute dialogue that took place, which really did paint a very deep picture of the deep state, the Illuminati, the Masonic peoples and the likes. So here we go. We're going to step straight into this. So bear with me a second.
We are currently at war. And no, I don't mean one country battling another. I unfortunately don't even mean the war that's currently going on, multiple wars across the world. What I truly mean is the war that we have been involved in. And it's been us against them. And by them, I don't mean a country, I don't mean an organization, I don't mean a person. I mean that group, the elites, the deep state, the Illuminati, the reptilians, whatever you want to call them. There is an us against them. And the problem with this war that has been waging since the dawning of humanity is that none of us have actually been aware that we're involved in it. And the ones that are aware that we are involved in it have been called crazy or have been killed off ever since the beginning of time.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So this warrants a light being shone into the darkness at this point. How could it possibly be that mankind has been manipulated for thousands of years and we are not even aware? So what follows is a section of the transcript from Transylvanian Sunrise. There will be a longer version available on the newsletter and on our YouTube channel that goes deeper and explains how such a grand deception has been possible. This excerpt is a conversation between Cesar Brad of Romanian Intelligence Services, though that isn't his real name, and Signor Massini, an Italian nobleman, a senior figure in the world of Freemasonry, which is in turn linked to the Illuminati. Massini has cause to bring Cesar Brad into his world of global deceit, linked to a discovery made in the Basugi Mountains in Romania, which in turn shines a light on the true history of humanity. So this book comes highly recommended for those wishing to explore further. Be mindful that while this sounds like fiction, it is fact, although many may prefer not to acknowledge it as such, and that is understandable. As we always say, this is a time to exercise extreme discretion on what you accept as your truth. Research things for yourself and feel intuitively into whether so-called facts represent truth or deluded nonsense for you. Learning to trust your inner voice will be important in the months and years ahead as the light is continuously shone into the darkness.
How is it possible that the third rank of Masons, to whom you referred to as the world Masonic elite, can own such a power without being known? We need no acknowledgement the way you're thinking about it. We may show up in society, particularly by means of the inherited titles of nobility or as great bankers dealing with their business. We always take care to stay close to the so-called charity actions by means of some foundations that also belong to us. In fact, these foundations enable us to transfer large amounts of money under the color of legality and philanthropic goals. We are the ones who retain, in fact, the world financial monopoly, for we control all money markets. The World Control Project is meticulously set up. How did you manage to control the world finances? Nobody can have access to all the money in circulation. We mostly control this money, but our real influence consists of the huge debts we basically force upon all governments in order to deal with the economy, and therefore in the social field, in the way we like it. This is basically the main target for which we founded two high financial structures in the world, the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, IMF. But the strongest stroke which made our greatest success was getting the USA into debt so that they completely fall under the financial politics we arrange. Just as I said, the essence in such politics is the interest on loans and the subsequent debts and all forms of obligations or concessions to result in our favor. This is how we control the economic world, and we direct it where we please. We can create real instability or obstruct the payments where we have a particular interest. Countries in bankruptcy is what we are best at, for we can thereby indirectly rule a whole people. We obviously fix and connect these strategies in advance by misinformation through the international media, which also belongs to us. This system proved highly efficient in time, and we properly manage it. In case there is somebody to oppose it, there would normally be no problem to do away with him as a political or social personality, thanks to our countless relationships, to corruption, and to our control over the financial system. There are some special cases, such as the USA, where we cannot allow any mistakes or exterior actions except the ones we provide. This is why every president of the USA is our choice and the outcome of our Masonic goals. He must absolutely be an outstanding member in our Masonic lodges. Most of the time they belong to the second rank. In order to perfectly hide the political and financial maneuvers we display, we demanded the most spectacular and also hilarious idea that we managed to implement to the crowds in the last 200 years. This probably is one of our most valuable additions that provided great advantage to us and can still be quite efficient these days. You may be surprised, but it sounds so familiar: democracy. The concept itself is not worth a brass, still, it is the most essential piece in the gear of our plans, and it is quite popular. The main reason is that it stirs vanity to people and makes them crave for power. In fact, it only generates some sort of hatred, fight and temptation, which makes a great frame for manipulation. The secret political games and the high financial and power interests are apparently in the hands of the electors. You have to proceed to slight compromises in order to enjoy all of the advantages later on. What is the advantage we actually draw by means of democracy? It usually leads to disunion between different social layers of a country and to downright conflicts between peoples in the world. The idea we promote in order to actually conceal our real plans and actions under everybody's silent agreement concerns the illusion of the free choice for every individual. But when we deal with tens and hundreds millions of different people, so stressed and perverted, their so-called free choice can be easily directed by different methods. The tempest must go wild, but its main direction can be influenced so that it may protect certain areas and destroy others. We found the easiest and safest way to attain chaos and disunion. You see, despite the highly charitable appearances and the moral values we polished democracy in, this actually hides the core we had started from and that we enhanced in time: the hatred between fellows, the blind struggle for a facile and ephemeral power, and the lack of unity. People joining together under positive and beneficial ideas or concepts is quite dangerous, for this is the only way for the masses to become really powerful in their action. This basically is the reason why we often pursue the state splitting into different minorities, each of them having its own specific interests, culture, and religious beliefs. Our final goal is having the cultural and religious traditions vanish away in different countries to the point where they lack the power of individualization. Then they may be easily controlled and assimilated in a unique governmental form which will be obviously directed by our Masonic world elite. One of the major obstacles we encounter and we have to surpass is the various traditions of people and their need to stay close to them. We strive to gather a herd of animals, automatically responsive. You give them hay and water at the proper time and they offer unconditional commitments. To attain this, just as I said before, the ancient traditions must wane, the real folk values and symbols must be evened out and even ignored. The new generation must be perverted at the soul and have their senses poisoned with false ideas, lies and all kinds of alluring vices. We have mostly succeeded in doing so. That was quite easy for America as they basically have no tradition at all. It is currently the place on earth where our plans have been perfectly carried out, the complete submission to the social-economical system with total control and financial oppression. All these are wrapped by the spell of the extraordinary technologies and by the ridiculous and arrogant idea of the first world power. People need the conviction even of a false power. They unconsciously need something to give a vivid impression and inner safety. We maintain this idea of power in the Americans' mind, for it prevents them from revolting against the system that had offered them such a comfortable idea of supremeness. Besides, we can make great use of the vanity and shallowness to derive from here. Since they are less cautious and can be easily manipulated, the Americans can stand for the peak offensive in our plan to conquer the absolute power on earth. Cesar wanted more details. Since it's just a bluff, why is democracy so much stressed about? Democracy, my dear, is just apparently a beneficial thing. It enables, in fact, the highest abuses and conflicts. Don't you know people have died in the name of democracy? All laws and principles of the current civilization are structured according to the laws of democracy, aren't they? Well, the emergence of this pole, which is democracy, also determined the possibility of the opposite idea and of the fight against democracy. That's how we obtained the conflict. The conflict is a sound ground to enable the ruling of the whole world. Let me remind you here of a basic rule of our Masonic regulations: give secret support to both sides, by smart tactics in politics and economy, and give a shoulder to each combatant in order to reach the success you pursue. The term and the false concept of democracy became a shield for many governments in order to freely act as they wish and therefore cover their own interests. Most of the countries fell into huge debts, striving to cover the military expenses no matter that they are not involved in wars. We give them loans but ask the governments to guarantee them with many assets, mines, forests, railways or several industrial fields that are quite important. This is the main way for us to gradually take hold of a country's wealth and control the people in that country.
A longer version of this transcript that fills in a lot more of the blanks will be available on our channel and linked to the newsletter. Meanwhile, back to Elizabeth.
So what's different now? And no, it's actually not Trump. The times are changing. They are. And yeah, sure, we could say it's the solar flares, it's the increasing vibration, it's the activation of the third eye and the pineal gland. That's all great too. But it's also not just that. Contractually, this planet is going through an evolution we have seen actually before. And that was based on ancient Atlantis, back in the day. And we kind of all know how that ended. This is going to be different for a variety of reasons. But before we get to an age of enlightenment and prosperity and freedom and sovereignty and integrity, we've got to flush out the old system. And this is the year for that. This is what we are going through. We are flushing the system. And this is not just happening in America. This is happening globally. This is happening everywhere. And yeah, for sure, there are a couple of players involved in expediting the flush, right? But they are not the cause of the change and the shift. So please keep that in mind. Understand that the prophecy of this planet always had this situation occurring. Now, because we have decided that we are ready to rip the Band-Aid off, it's hard, fast. And that's what the next 4 years is going to be specifically. Really, that's what the next 10 to 20 years is going to feel like. There has been so much that has already happened in the first 20 days of this new year that we can't even stop to process what just happened because something new has already occurred. And that's what the next 10 years is truly going to feel like. Sort of in the best way possible, but also in a way that's a little bit hard to keep up with. And that's okay. Now, before I sat down to sort of tune into the content of this video and really ask myself, if I could give anything today, what would it be? What do people need to know? This quote came to mind. And the quote is, "The easiest way to bring a system down is to shine light into the darkness." And that's what's happening right now. So we need to strap in and hold on because we are in for a massive amount of disclosure. And I'm not just talking about alien UFO disclosure. I am talking about the truth coming to light. And we know that the truth has been hidden in plain sight for many years. Maybe you're new to waking up. Maybe you've been on this journey for a while. Today I'm going to go over pretty much everything we're going to start to see shifting and unfolding in the next year, and once again in the next 4 to 10 years, but especially in 2025. There's going to be a massive unraveling of all of the lies and the manipulations that we've been told.
So, truly transformative times await, and as Elizabeth says, this has been prophesized for thousands of years, and we are here to be part of this unfolding. And we're not here as passive observers. Going back to the words of Signor Massini, people joining together under positive and beneficial ideas or concepts is quite dangerous. For this is the only way for the masses to become really powerful in their action. So while they use division energy to create disharmony between nations, ethnicities, religious beliefs, political beliefs, sexuality, and many other things, the vital point is that this is all designed to keep us from stepping into our power. And the truth sets us free. We now understand what we're up against, how this works, and that when we come together in unity, they are the ones who become powerless. The more that people see through the illusion, the more powerful we become as we, the people, take back our power and create our world of unspeakable beauty. Because we are the creators of our reality, which means we get to choose love, kindness, compassion, joy, happiness, and laughter over fear, division, judgment, anger, and all those other darker energies. Remember, they control the mainstream media, so their ability to perpetrate lies and character assassinations against those who strive to bring the light into the darkness is strong. But it only works on those people who are still asleep, who don't yet realize the trap that is being set for them. And every day people will continue to awaken, triggered by events around the world that are designed to put them into fear. I repeat, we are not here to be passive observers. We are here to transform our reality into that world of unspeakable beauty, not by fighting the old, but by building the new. So if you want to be part of this, please subscribe to our channel.
It is all about living in integrity moving forward. There is no room for falsities anymore at an individual or collective level. All right, collectively, everything that has been covered up is going to be and is being uncovered. And like I said, Trump is actually expediting a lot of that, and I'm grateful for that. And he's not going to touch upon everything, and we're going to get to that too. So just a couple of the things that I remote viewed into that are going to get uncovered or at least touched upon this year. And we're already seeing a lot of this movement, which is really impressive. We're talking like major government cover-up conspiracies like JFK, the shooting of JFK. Also COVID vaccines. I saw a lot of truth getting revealed about the vaccination, about basically when we open that door, right? When we open Pandora's box about what they were doing, what they were planning around the vaccine, that leads right into different agendas, like the depopulation agenda, or even just the, weakening us with chemicals in our food, in our water, in our air. It really does open the door to a lot of things. So I see a lot of movement happening with chemtrails. I see more states really banning chemtrails. And even though America is definitely not like the king of the world, there are a lot of trends, unfortunately, that America has set for other places in the world. And I'm hoping that with I think I just read the other day that the entire United States is planning on banning the red dye 40, which thank goodness, like my God, it's in everything, especially when you have kids and then you're just reading ingredients. It's terrible. So there's going to be a lot of movement with this, and I'm hoping that there's going to be movement in other places around the world. As we know, chemtrails are everywhere. Like you literally cannot escape them. So I'm hoping that the bans here are going to really follow through and make a trend for everywhere else. And then so even though I don't see them exclusively discussing like depopulation agendas and like say, 2030, Agenda 2030, I do see a lot of people waking up to that and going down a rabbit hole. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. And then of course, UFOs. Now, I have to mention that what we have seen in 2024 leading up to 2025 and what we are going to still see in 2025 is the rolling out of the shadow government's agendas. As I mentioned, everything is about to be like everyone who has been in a position of power, who has been working for the deep state, is about to be purged out of power. And before that happens, they are trying to utilize as much force as they possibly can before they're kicked out. And this is why we saw the UFO drones. We're seeing aspects of Project Bluebeam. We're seeing the chemtrails that led into the mystery fog all over the world. So, and once again, like even though like things are shifting here in America, things are really shifting globally as well. Like the powers that were are really truly losing power, and now they're finally being kicked out of their positions. But 2025, we are going to continue to see a battle. We're going to see the push of the integrity and the push of the truth, and then we're going to see the suppression of things. We're just going to see that battle play out in 2025. And then I'm hoping 2026, everything is cleared out enough that the truth can fully be set free. We're just going to see sort of the seeds being planted. We're not going to see the final uncovering of everything this year, but it is going to be quite incredible. So with the UFOs, there's going to be like more hearings, more talk about it, more truth coming out, but there very well could be more like of these weird UFO drones, more of the holographs and the plasmoids. And of course, we're going to see an uptick of real disclosure of real UFOs, of real ships being seen as well, which is very confusing. And that's kind of what they want. They want confusion to happen. At the end of the day, no matter how it comes out, it's going to wake people up, right? Now, I do want to mention that there were a couple of things that I didn't see fully being revealed to their fullest extent. The other thing that I saw coming out was the trafficking, right? Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, I have been talking about, and I'm just going to say it because who cares if this video gets taken down on YouTube? I've got a website for that. Sex trafficking is the absolute biggest cover-up that no one is talking about, and it happens globally, and what I've seen in these underground tunnels and these underground bases are no human should witness that, and no human should ever experience that. And we're starting to have that conversation. We've got Epstein, we've got Weinstein, we've got Diddy, we've got Elon Musk calling out the royal family. Like, we've got unprecedented movement where we have never had that before. However, the extent at which this goes is so deeply embedded. I actually saw a little bit of an aversion with Trump in like fully calling it out or squashing it or ending it. And I had to dig a little bit and ask the question, why wouldn't he address this? Why wouldn't he put an end to this? Why wouldn't this be one of his main concerns? Because this is in my mind, the biggest issue we need to be addressing. And the reason why is because if you think about as like a new president, and we also all know that, you know, one man standing on a stage really has not a whole lot of power, but there's such a long laundry list of shit that needs to happen before such a big issue like that is tackled. So I have hope that someone like Elon is sort of calling out the issue, not really doing much about it, but calling it to attention is massive. So that is one of the issues that I don't really actually see being super touched upon. It's starting to unravel, but it's just so big. It is so big. And when the truth really comes out about it, I think it's going to shock the world. And we need to be shocked. We really need to be woken up about that.
You know, collectively as Elevated Planet, John and I are here to really, out of love and compassion that we have for mankind. And on this journey of life, we were able to find each other. And one aspect of what we have in common is that we really want to let mankind know the power that's within them. And we've seen the fact that society, the reptilians, the elites, whatever you want to call them, have done so much magic and wizardry that we're all have these veils upon us, and we can't see our power and our authenticity and the things that help us to be great and see that in each other. And so as we move along on this journey, our job is to uncover this and to uncover the corruption, to uncover the spiritual diabolicalness that's being unleashed on this planet, and to hopefully wake up enough people so that we pivot. And then my job is to help us build a skill set, a unique skill set to each individual and the collective, so that we can move out these strong emotions in real time, transmute this negative energy into positive energy, and move us into unspeakable beauty so that we can neutralize all of this negative energy that we see happening around us. So we don't want people to get caught up in, oh, aliens and all of that, because it's one aspect of a big, huge story that we're all a part of. And the more knowledge and the wisdom we have about ourselves, you know, and how we relate to each other and to this wide world, the more power that we have to change our lives and to move into this higher vibration and frequency. But there's a roadmap, or what I like to say, and I said before, there's a skill set that you need that's been cut off from you. So when you see us digging into these subject matters that may seem out there or off the beaten path, it's because this is the way. The way is not linear. The way is uncovering, exposing, digging deep, so that, like Elizabeth April said, it is to shine light on the darkness. Because once we do that, that darkness can then begin to feed the light. And that's what we're all about at Elevated Planet, and how we intend to move us into unspeakable beauty.
What is it going to mean when all of this shit gets disclosed for the rest of the world? I want you to take a second now to think back to when you first got a glimpse of the truth. Like, let's call it like you had a spiritual awakening, or maybe you broke through the matrix. It's that first article you read, or that first alternative news video that you saw. It was the first thing that made you question everything. What did you go through in that moment? What happened to you in that year? Hey, maybe this just happened. Maybe you're like a week into your breakdown and your breakthrough. So welcome to the community. But for many of us, this happened a long time ago. Now, when I think about the first time I started questioning everything and realizing everything we've been taught, everything we've been fed is a lie, is an illusion, is a fabrication, is propaganda, is an absolute beast of a machine, I went through an existential crisis. I went through the highs, the lows, the freedom, and then the suffering of, holy shit, I'm all alone in this. No one understands. No one else is questioning. Everything is a lie. So why even bother? Why even? It's just like this absolute utter apathy that I felt for quite some time about feeling like the machine is against me and I'm only one person who thinks that I know the truth of what's going on, but I can't do anything about it because I'm not a politician, I'm not anyone, so what can I do? Now, obviously the benefit on 8 billion people, but let's say conservatively 1 billion people waking up compared to maybe a couple million. The benefit is that other people are going to be waking up, and I think the first initial phases of sort of breaking through the matrix are going to be less daunting because you're not alone in it, which is really nice. It's like, oh, hey, welcome in. Yes, we know where you're at. We know what you're feeling. Come on in. It's a little rocky at first, but then you'll get through it. I know for me, it was so doom and gloom. It was so dark and scary. It was all agendas, all conspiracy, all negativity, all reptilians and clones and military bases and all of this shit. You literally feel like the government has been against you the entire time, which is a really good thing, but it's really overwhelming. And then I got to a point where I started questioning, there's got to be something more than this, right? Like, there can't just be darkness on planet Earth. There can't just be darkness in the universe. There's got to be something more. And when I finally started to wonder if there was something a little bit better than that, is when I got opened up to pretty much a whole universe of polarity and how beautiful the light, the love, I mean, it sounds cheesy, but that unconditional frequency can be. I think that it won't take people many years to make the transition from dark into light into neutrality, as it did for me. It took me many years of darkness, many years of light, and then, of course, eventually neutrality of like, okay, great, we can have both. Like, we can both be in the same room, and we can both be on the same planet for a short period of time. So just imagine the world experiencing that level of breakdown and breakthrough. You, my friend, right here, right now, on this video, you are the expert. I've been calling you guys teachers and masters since the beginning, okay? I am not a leader and I am not a teacher. I am a student, okay? You guys are the teachers, all right? You are about to be in a position of leadership, because you all of a sudden are not actually the crazy one. And when everyone else around you is suffering and breaking down, that is when you can step in and say, hey, like I've been there too. Okay, and it's okay if you're currently suffering and breaking down. It's all a part of cleaning out and clearing all of that lower density.
So I feel that this is a super valid point that Elizabeth makes. If everything was revealed to the mainstream in a short space of time, that would be so overwhelming. To me, I've been drip-fed this stuff over years, so that enables me to process everything and feel excited about where all this public disclosure will be taking us, including the downfall of the deep state and the ascension of the frequency of humanity into the fifth dimension. But taking that metaphorical step back, realizing that typically Elevated Planet reaches those already on their journey to self-realization, a place from where we can make sense of all this as we learn and grow incrementally. But I do believe a big part of our journey will be to help those who are likely to be overwhelmed by the disclosure, or at least those who are open to be supported in finding their center after the rug of reality has been pulled from underneath them. Chances are some will be so deeply in denial that they will not be open, and there is nothing wrong with that. Everyone's journey is unique for a reason and should be honored. For me, the excitement of the journey will be tempered by compassion for those who will inevitably struggle. If I had never had my 2018 epiphany, I would have been amongst them. The Elevated Planet Nos Populi community will be here to help raise the collective vibration and help as many as are open to be supported into stepping into their true power, to find inner peace and joy and a sense of oneness with the universe.
Many different extraterrestrial beings have come to our planet and have spliced their DNA with us. We are not an evolutionary human. We are a hybrid being. We are a mix of close to around 20 different extraterrestrial species. We've got some of the lowest extraterrestrial DNA vibrationally in the universe, of reptilians. And then we've got some of the absolute highest vibrational DNA in our systems, including some etheric, some elemental, some Pleiadian DNA, and some angelic DNA. When the environment of our planet is low, our DNA is triggered based on our environment's frequency. Okay? When the frequency of our environment increases, our DNA gets triggered and unlocks a new strand of DNA. So at this point in time, we have had hardware, a physical body and DNA, that is far surpassing a quantum computer, and yet our software has been stuck in the reptilian brain. We are about to go through the biggest, most massive software upgrade known to man. And guess what's helping us with that? The solar flares we're getting hit with. If we really wanted to go there and get full disclosure, it would be the full understanding that we are a prophecy planet and we are a very, very special civilization, and we have capacities that are actually greater and beyond many extraterrestrials out there in the universe. What? How fucking crazy is that? And the second biggest piece of disclosure that we could ever understand and know on planet Earth is that there is a species of off-planet individuals who has been in control of all of the humans this entire time. And yeah, I sound batshit crazy saying it, but I'm going to say it. The reptilians are here. They have been here. They believe this planet is theirs because technically they were here first. And ever since we came along, which really the Anunnaki spliced the Neanderthal DNA with their DNA to create us for their own means, just dropping some truth bombs. And trust me, I have not read this. I have remote viewed this. This is my own one-on-one experience with what happened in ancient human history. Since we were kind of created and evolved, the reptilians have wanted to take their planet back. They think that we are the parasite on this planet, when the prophecy states that this planet is not just for us, it's for all galactic civilizations. So if the reptilians cannot co-create with us and they want to take over us, then they're not allowed here anymore. Can you imagine if 8 billion people knew that it's not the governments, it's not big industries, it's not corporations who are trying to depopulate us, weaken us with chemicals and heavy metals, it's actually reptilian beings from off planet? Do you know how quickly we could all get together and stand up and say, fuck no? Right? It's hard to get together and rise up against a corporation. It's hard to rise up against a government, although we have done that in the past. It's one thing to rise up against one entity, and it is another thing for every single human to rise up and realize that we've been controlled by non-humans. We can all just stand up and say, no matter your age, no matter your race, no matter your gender, no matter your skin color, no matter your language, fuck those guys, because they aren't us. And it's okay if you're not human, but at least like co-create with us. If you're not human and you don't like humans and you've been utilizing all of your powers and technology and abilities to manipulate us to create a reality that doesn't actually serve us, then you gotta go. You gotta go. That would be the ultimate disclosure. That right there would shift absolutely everything on planet Earth. Are we ready for that? No. Are you ready for that? Obviously, because you're here. Do you think I'm crazy? Maybe, but I am just planting some seeds for you to unpack at a later date, and I'm going to drop the mic there. Make sure you subscribe for more truth bombs, and I'll see all of you in the absolute highest possible timeline. We got this. It's happening. Full disclosure is coming, and I am getting my popcorn out because what a ride we are on.
Back again for some more crazy talk. So, yeah, so from Denise, I'm looking forward to more disclosure in 2025. Yeah, me too, Denise. This is going to be, as she says, it's a crazy ride, right? So, and again, just to go over my version of the crazy talk as we've discussed it, as I mentioned to you before about Transylvanian sunrise. I've almost finished it. I didn't get it till early January, but you know, my word. I mean, you know, the reptilian and the control agenda side of things is fascinating, but it goes so much deeper as well. Anyway, a couple of things to mention. You know, the activation of DNA. I think many of us who are on this journey will have heard a little bit about that. Now, I also know that anybody who's also a fan of Dolores Cannon will have read many regressions which identified with the fact that earlier civilizations like Atlantis, like Lemuria, we were kind of like a 12-strand DNA kind of, you know, vessel, right? But since these last few thousand years, we've been down to 2 strands of DNA. Now, why would that be? Well, that would be because we have been kind of under the thumb of the deep state, one way or another. And it makes sense that what she says, that, you know, we are the sum of our collective consciousness. That's kind of what manifests our existence, which is what also makes it quite exciting, because once we get to grips with this, we realize that we have it within our power when we come together from a collective consciousness perspective to elevate our consciousness. And also, say, for instance, if you've got 1,000 people, it's not just 1,000 people, it's 1,000 times 1,000, right? So you don't need to get the whole population of the earth to see things this way. We just build this, and all the time people are awakening and awakening. So there's 12 strands of DNA, many of them, well, 10 of them have not been activated, but more and more have been coming online. I know even when Dolores was doing her work back, you know, 10, 20, 30 years ago, there were more and more people that it turned out that DNA had been activated. It was starting to increase then even. So that's the first part of the crazy talk. The other thing is talking about this deep state is a mix, you know, like when we talked about this Illuminati, the Masonic Lodge and all this kind of stuff, you know, this Signor Massini. The deep state is a mix of humans and reptilian shapeshifters from the 4th dimension. Crazy, right? So, and I know it does sound crazy, but you just got to say it, right? And it leaves you wondering who is and isn't part of this kind of Illuminati type of thing, because there are plenty of humans. This is not just about the reptilian agenda. They have co-opted so many along with them. So, we know it involves politicians. They talked about every president of the United States. Now, is that every, because that was in 2003. So it doesn't mean to say that they were successful in getting their president in every time subsequent to that. Is Donald Trump one of them? You know what? He seems like his own man, right? He could be the exception to the rule. Let's hope so. Then you've got a lot of celebrities, and there's this Diddy stuff that's going on, and we're aware of all that sort of disclosure, which is coming up this year, assuming that it actually happens. There's judges, there's bankers, very influential and very wealthy people. Now, also, you kind of ask the question also of Elon Musk, because let's face it, so much of the wealth has gone to the reptilians, and if he's the wealthiest man in the world, now I do know, again, from the remote viewing that Elizabeth April has done, that the deep state have tried to recruit Elon Musk. But I know also from, again, what she discovered that he actually is resisted. Elon too wants to be his own man. So there's hope in that. But, there's no firm decision either way. He wasn't going to say that he wasn't going to go dark. But at the same time, it seems for now that he is kind of like on the side of good. And if he's starting to call out other elements that are out there that are within this, because, and again, this is a little bit controversial, the royal family, okay? The royal family are believed to be right in this, okay? The British royal family. Sorry, for any royalists out there, but that is kind of like, that's identifiable through a number of sources. Yeah, the use of ceremonies and rituals within these, this Illuminati type of things, including blood sacrifices, it's all part of keeping the vibration low. So the deep state is deeply into this stuff. Whilst it was heavily censored, the movie Eyes Wide Shut by director Stanley Kubrick actually represented this quite well. And it was interesting, actually, because before the film was produced, Stanley unfortunately died. Maybe that was just a heart attack or whatever. But there's a lot of people do die when they try to get tangled in this kind of stuff. So understanding how we have been manipulated is important, because within that it tells us how powerful we really are. The deep state fear the power of a unified humanity, so it is time to overcome the fragmentation and unify. Join us, we the people, nos populi. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, or email me at johndrew@elevatedplanet.life, or go to our website elevatedplanet.life/contact. That gets you to our contact page. So we the people is how we create our world of unspeakable beauty. Now at this stage I am going to shut up because we are going to be running through the time, and I want to bring Jolé in. Jolé.
I am here, and good talk, John, about that, really laying the groundwork for letting people understand that it's not as far-fetched as you think. I mean, it's been disclosed to us. Now it might be disclosed to us under the guise of fiction, but the facts or the breadcrumbs are there, right? There's been movies like directors like John Carpenter, like he made a movie called They Live. What an interesting B movie, about the reptilians and the way they operate. So these things are out there. They even talk about how the Simpsons kind of have predicted some of these events unfolding. And how do these people know that, right? So that is lore and conspiracy theory and things that we can look at a party and water cooler maybe. However, let's deal with the individual and the collective way of being able to pivot into harnessing our own power and being able, if we do have, like she says, these low vibrational energies, Elizabeth April, we want to protect ourselves, meaning love. If we love and we're compassionate and vulnerable and authentic, then there's this high vibration that we're able to ride that keeps us out of the fray of this negativity, that keeps us away from, abductions possibly, or, some things that we look at as being something we might not want to do. Like, I'm not necessarily a person that wants to see these cuckoos or these things show up to me. No. Talk to my higher self, and my higher self will give me that message. I'm not into that. I want to stay completely narrow-minded in the sense of viewing these beings. No, thank you. I don't need that. But for some, you may need that. So it's up to you to build your own individual way of looking at things and having boundaries around not only your skill set, but your belief system. We're really honing in. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting actually because I'm quite keen on seeing. I don't necessarily need to see the reptilians. Hey, and just to make a good point on that actually, because I know there are, and amongst the reptilian population, and there's hybrid reptilians in this population as well, and a lot of them are very, heart-based consciousness, right? Now, the ones
yeah,
who are involved in the Illuminati and the Masonic side of things, forget that, right? This is about self-centered control of humanity. But it's not to say all reptilians are bad. That's like saying all humans are bad or all humans are
right,
good, right?
right. That's correct. I mean, but it's there, these energies are releasing and letting you know, hey, I'm here and we're doing this, but let's just give you some glitz and glamour behind it. So be aware, and your instincts and your intuition will resonate with what works and what doesn't, or what's real and what's not, I believe.
Brilliant. Wonderful. Okay, Jolé, we're going to go to the guided meditation, yeah? You ready for
Yes,
that? Cool.
let's move on.
Right. So this is what we're doing. We've got Elizabeth April doing the last little 2-minute section here to build us into this. It's an important point that she makes, and one that Jolé felt it was a good lead into, what can really help us moving forward. So bear with me. Here we go.
Once again, this is the year that really marks the beginning of the truth getting revealed. Before we get into the collective disclosure that we're going to see, I do have to make a quick note and say, we're going to also shift into individual disclosure, okay? And what does that really mean? Now, this really marks the beginning of the truth getting revealed. And there's a lot of people on the planet who have been living in an illusion. Now, of course, this matrix itself is an illusion, but there's a lot of people that have been choosing an identity and a role to play, but it's actually not them. Whether that be the label of a parent or the label of a job or career identity, no matter what that label is, it's not the truth of who you are. So I want to just mention, okay, that at an individual level, if there are illusions that you have, if there are truths that you have been hiding from, they will get dislodged, okay? They will come up. Essentially, if you're hiding or suppressing anything, be prepared for a rug pull. If you are convincing yourself that you're happy and you're not, just be prepared for that thing to be completely pulled out of your life. This is the year for that, all right? So I did have to mention that at an individual level, there's going to be a lot of shifts and changes. There might be a lot of foundational stuff changing for you, and that's only because those aspects of your life, those people, those situations, those attachments, mentalities, those belief systems do not serve you in this higher frequency. So they're going to be pulled from you. Just fair warning, do not shoot the messenger, okay? For those of you who have done the work, who have deep dove, who have gone through the ego deaths, who have, died and come back, who have done the childhood trauma healing, then you're in for pretty much smooth sailing, as long as you do not entangle yourself with the clusterfuck that is about to happen, okay? All right, cool. I just had to say that.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this meditation. And as you take a breath in, put your feet flat on the floor, your palms face up on your thighs. Exhale. Bring your awareness to the center of your chest and begin to breathe with the rhythm of your body. It is commanded that I am breathing the rhythm of my body. It's that simple. And you say that as well as saying it is commanded that my heartbeat sync up with my breath. And you say that in your mind, and your body responds because we are powerful beings of creation. And the first thing we have control over is our own energy. So as you ground your energy from a heart-centered space with a grounding cord that is 6 inches in diameter, moving from the center of your heart down through your third chakra, opening up that channel, down through the second, down through the first, as that energy begins to swirl and move through Mother Earth. And I want you to get into the details and see the minutia of the beautiful miniature hearts, nano hearts that make up your grounding cord as it moves through the lithosphere, the asthenosphere, and it roots itself into the core of Mother Earth. Feel what it feels like to be rooted and grounded in her energy. Once you've rooted and grounded your energy into Mother Earth, she cleans you by bringing in golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles that blanket the inside and the outside of your grounding cord, while simultaneously you command your aura to be 1.5 feet around you and your higher self to stand at a comfortable distance above your crown in the power position. And your astral body snaps itself in. This is your soul architecture. And now you are ready to connect with the divine and work with your energy. So as you breathe with the rhythm of your body, grounded and rooted, sitting in your aura layer, your higher self is above you and your astral body is snapped in, create, imagine, and visualize the bottoms of your feet opening like the lens of a camera as you call in 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you, pooling into the bottoms of your feet. And then traveling up those side channels of your legs. And while that happens, you bring your awareness to your crown, you open that like you would the lens of a camera, and immediately cosmic divine life force energy knows to bring down that gold light, moving out any and all distractions, obstacles, other energies that may be in the cosmic universe. No, 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 this is my energy, says the divine. I am filling up this person with so much of my own creative power and free will. So feel it as it rains down on your higher self, focuses in, moves down into your crown, into your brain, working in the different areas, moving out any fear, worry, doubt, calcification, moving out any primal animalistic energy as it moves down that vertebra, that spine, lighting up each vertebrae, pushing out that nervous system, easing the energy of the brain stem as it goes and it moves down the spine. And this beautiful nervous system pushes out into the aura layer. And now it's like electricity lighting it up, telling the universe what it is to bring to you. So sit here for a moment while all of this energy works, and put a golden sun above your head. Because what we're going to do right now is we're going to call all of our energy back from all of the outer beings in the interstellar universe, as well as on Earth. So in this golden sun, put a high-powered magnet with your name on it. And outside your aura, I want you to visualize 5 feet away from you, a rose to the right and to the left of you. Roses the universal symbol for transmutation and protection. So as these roses sit and float outside your aura layer, 5 feet away from you, I want you to open your brow like you would the lens of a camera. And I want you to see all of the people, the places, and the things that you remember that are weighing you down or that just are on your mind or around you. Everything but you. I want you to put in those roses outside your aura layer as you see your energy be called back into that gold sun above your head. As I gently remind you that you're breathing with the rhythm of your body. Your heartbeat is synced up with your breath. You're grounded from the heart, a place of love, compassion, forgiveness, moving through your personal power, your creativity, your abundance, down into Mother Earth, rooted, and your grounding cord is being cleaned and cleared. Your aura layer is 1.5 feet around you. Your higher self is standing in the power position at a comfortable distance above your crown, and your astral body is snapped in as that 85% cosmic gold life force energy comes raining down from the heavens, filling you up as that 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you pools in the bottoms of your feet and travels up the side channels of your legs. As you clean out from the center of your head all of the people and the places and the things that you leave a little bit of yourself at, as you call back all of your energy into that golden sun above your head. And your energy is coming into this golden sun like waves, beautiful waves, as that gold sun filters all of that energy, bringing it back to 0 point. So that when you're ready, you're going to go ahead and allow for that golden sun. It should be being rained on with that beautiful cosmic life force golden energy. I see it like sparks. It's so beautiful. And let this beautiful golden energy envelope this sun and bring it down as it fits into your crown. All of your energy is back, mixing in with the energy of the cosmic divine as well as Mother Earth as this fills you up and it pushes out into your aura layer, sending the messages out into the universe, allowing you to take hold of the highest potentiality and take action around it. So sit here as this essence pumps through you authentically as you've called all your energy back. Sit in this energy of integrity, of safety, of love, of compassion, of truth, authenticity, of a high vibration. And I just want you to sit in this energy as you visualize your highest good. Feel that feeling that no matter what happens, you are riding on the wave of this high vibration, and it is taking you right towards unspeakable beauty. So see yourself there. Feel what it feels like. And be grateful to be well, free of disease and illness. Allow that inner child to play. Feel what it feels like to be abundant, to have all your needs and wants met, and then to be able to be of such grand service that you're giving back in such a magnetic and powerful way, that you're able to change your environment. Whether it's planting a seed or cashing a check or writing one, get specific as you move into those handshakes and those hugs and breaking bread with those and being in the rooms with people that can change you and that can help change this world. Hold the space for that, so that when you get up from here, you take action, knowing that you are safe and divinely protected. As this energy moves throughout your body, moving out any disease and illness down that grounding cord, and that gold light filling up the spaces and the places with your energy and that earth energy, as you take a deep breath in and you exhale and go back to breathing with the rhythm of your body, knowing that it is safe for you to have these things and to be protected from the energy of vampires. So as you visualize, create, and imagine your aura layer being surrounded by roses, you're going to give those roses outside your aura layer a push energetically, the ones you filled up with all the people, the places, and the things. You're going to see it blow up and turn into fireworks. Some people like to put dynamite or blow it up, but I just see it be pushed and it just blows up, turns into these beautiful fireworks, which mean it is turned into and transmuted into positive creative life force energy for anyone to use. As you put a golden sun above your head and you see those beautiful golden raindrops all around this golden sun, enveloping it, bringing it down for your higher self, your aura layer into your crown, moving it down that channel of the chakras and down your grounding cords, chases all of those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles into the core of Mother Earth as they turn into cosmic divine life force energy for anyone to use, recycling all that negativity back to 0 point as you bring your grounding cord and yourself into the present moment. So take a deep breath in and exhale. Bring your awareness back to the center of your chest as you open it and you send those emojis of love out and into your aura layer as they blanket the inside and the outside of each layer of the aura, sending the message out into the universe. I am worthy. I am deserving. And I know how to access and utilize all of my blessings and all of my gifts in the highest and the best way, with grace and ease, as those emojis meet in the back of you and all of your aura is covered with love, and that electricity is super powered as that energy pushes out into your environment and your toroidal field lights up and that grid locks in with Mother Earth as that pyramid with the capstone above it begins to spin, and you bask in that white light as it pushes itself out into the universe. Bringing in so much joy and amusement, locking you into all of the positivity that this earth has to offer in the highest and the best way. So as you take a deep breath in and exhale from a heart-centered space, I want you to feel that love all around you. And this is magic sauce. This is the stuff of manifestation. Your love for self and your desire to be of service and give back is one of the first ways to step into that. So as you take a deep breath in, I want you to go ahead and imagine and visualize your feet chakras closing And that energy receding back into Mother Earth. As you close your heart and your brow, you allow for that energy to settle in your brain and your prefrontal cortex and your pituitary endocrine system, your limbic systems, cerebrum, your cerebellum. All of that's cleaned out. Clean slate, clarity, intuition. And as you go ahead and close your crown, you allow for that gold light to recede back into the heavens as everything else remains. So take a deep breath in, exhale. If you haven't closed your hand chakras, close those as well. You are a beautiful being of light and blessings. And your shadow loves you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Love that. I was, when we're talking about the world of unspeakable beauty, where I was at the Future Elevated Planet events with so many people there. It was so fantastic. The energy is just this beautiful sensory experience. Thank you, Jolé. You took me there.
Absolutely, absolutely. My pleasure.
I really, truly appreciate that. So let's do the wrap up. Let's do the wrap up, and that just the usual. We have the newsletter going out tomorrow. We have this YouTube version of today's live will be on the channel as well. And yeah, and we will give you access to those to that piece of Transylvania Sunrise that we had, that little 8 minute section, but there's also going to be the long version as well, which goes deep for those who are interested. But yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, are we good, Jolé?
We are good, but don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if what you see resonated with you. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you again.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jolé. And yes, any comments, anybody wants to join our community, email johndrew@elevatedplanet.life or contact us through the website elevatedplanet.life/contact. Gets you to our contact page. We would love to have you on the journey with us. Anyway, I think that's about it until next week. So thank you again, Jolé. Thank you again, community. And we look forward to seeing you in another week's time. Take care. Lots of
Bye-bye.